All right, so today we're going to work a couple of example problems. That's all I'm doing. You can watch the grams to grams video to get a gram to gram example. I'm first going to work 15 moles of Fe to moles of Fe2O3. I have my balanced equation and I have my map. So the first thing that's important is to follow your map and see how many boxes you're going to have on top. I'm starting right here and I'm going moles to moles. So it's pretty easy when there's only, I'm going to have to touch 1, 2, so there's going to be 2 boxes on the top. Starting here, and this is our known formula if you looked at that if you looked at the last video, and that's going to be the 15 moles of Fe. So the rules that we're going to follow at first are the same that we've always followed. And then we're going to put our unknown right here, which is our moles of Fe2O3. Slide your units and your formula down. Now, but on here, there's the heart, so I'm going to go ahead and put my heart here. And I'm going to look back up at my balanced equations for the coefficients for that Fe2O3. And up here it's a 2, so I'm going to put a 2 right there. And for Fe, it's a 4 right there, so I'm going to put a 4. I'm going to multiply across the top and get 30. Divided by 4 equals, oops, hold on, let me put the paper over, 7.5. And the units and formula are just going to be your units and formula of your unknowns, so it's moles of Fe2O3. So go ahead and pause this and copy it if you need to. We're going to move on to the next one. Alright, so the next one is 15 moles of Fe equals how many grams of Fe2O3? The way we're going to set this up is, once again, we're going to look up here. I'm going from one formula to the other. So I'm going to count 1, because I'm on the moles, and I'm going to go to here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'm looking, and I also know that what my boxes are going to have in them. So my first box is going to have moles, and that's because that's my known, which is 15 moles of Fe. My last box is going to be that grams of Fe2O3. And the middle box is going to be that heart, and it's on the same side as the grams, that squiggle line, which means it's going to use the same formula. So it's going to be moles, Fe2O3, and that's where the heart's going to be. And I'm going to slide all my units down and to the right, so moles of Fe goes here, moles of Fe2O3 goes here. Oops, spread that a little bit. That's okay. Okay, then I ask myself the questions that we always ask. What goes in front of a mole if it's not a heart? It's a 1. What goes in front of the grams if it's not the given? It's going to be the molar mass, which here is going to be 159.687. And then I'm going to look back to my balance equation right here for the numbers that go in here. In front of the Fe2O3 is a 2. In front of the moles of Fe is a 4. I'm going to multiply and divide through here, and on this one I'm going to get 1,197.65, and it's going to be grams of Fe2O3. Pause it if you need to copy it, or if you want to check back with it. I'm going to go ahead and go forward. The next one we're doing is 150 grams to moles. So instead of going here to here, like the last one, we're going to go from here to here, which is actually almost the exact same thing. And by now you should be getting kind of an easy idea of it. So we're going grams to that moles, grams to moles, that's 1, 2, 3. So we're going to have 3 boxes on top. I start with that 150 grams of Fe because that's my known. I put my moles of O2 because that's my unknown. And if you look, because I'm going from here to here to here, and I know I'm not going just here to here, guys, because this is Fe and this is O2, which means they have to be on opposite sides of the squiggle line. But this mole is going to be in my heart, so I'm going to go ahead and put that there so I don't forget it, because it's what reminds me to look back up at the balanced equation. So here I'm just going to have moles, and it's going to use the same formula as this one did, because it's on the same squiggle side. Now move all of your units down and to the right. And go ahead and fill in. Remember 1 if it's not in the heart and if it's a mole. So I'm going to multiply across the top, multiply across going to go 150 grams of Fe again, but instead of going to moles or to grams, I'm going to go to atoms, which is down here. And if you look, for atoms, your constant, if it's not your given, is going to be this number right here, which is called Avogadro's number. So we're going grams to atoms. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to fill in just like I normally would. We know it has 4 boxes on the top. I'm going to go follow along. So this is moles of my known. This is moles of my unknown, which right there is O2, and this is also the box, according to the map. I mean the heart, sorry. And then right here, we're going to have atoms of O2. And now I'm going to move everything down and to the right. And I'm going to start filling it in. Remember, if it's a mole and it's not in the heart, it's a 1. If it's an atom, I told you it's going to be the 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. The moles of O2 from our balanced equation, you're going to have to go over here. It's going to be a 3. And the mole in front of the Fe is a 4. And the molar mass of Fe is 55.845. Now I'm going to show you how I want you to put this in the calculator. Some kids are still struggling with that. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply my whole top part. So 150 times 1 times 3. And then my next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a times just because I'm like that. And then I'm going to put parentheses because I'm going to put this in parentheses. I want to make sure that nothing else happens to it. It's just all by itself. So I'm going to put 6.02. And then I'm going to cover up part of the problem so you can see what I do next. My next step is going to be, I want that times 10 to the power of, but a lot of times if kids put it in like that, their problems get messed up because they don't hit the right buttons. So instead I'm going to hit the second button, and then I'm going to look at the 7, and right above the 7 there's a comma button. And if you look at the 2 little blue E's, there's 2 little bitty blue E's. So if you put that, it puts that little E in it, and that stands for times 10 and to the power of. So all I have to put behind that is 23 and close my parentheses. And, well, nope, I did not close my parentheses. I put a 10. Close my parentheses and then hit enter. And it's going to multiply that whole top row by itself. So then I'm going to get this, and I'm going to come back and multiply my bottom row by itself. I know this seems like a little bit much, but I want to make sure I get this right. And sometimes your calculators do it right if you stick it all in at the same time. And sometimes they just don't. So I'm going to get both of those numbers. Now this is my top, what happened when I multiplied my top. This is what happened when I multiplied my bottom. I'm going to go up and grab my top number. So all you have to do is go up there and highlight it and then hit enter. And then I want to divide it by that bottom. So I'm going to hit bottom. And I know there's another way to do this, but I always just go up and highlight it and then hit enter. So I know exactly what I'm getting. And then I'm going to have my top number being divided by my bottom. And I'm going to hit enter from there. And it's going to give me this number. And the number that I'm going to write down, I'm going to write it down in a different color so you can get a little bit more clear. I'm going to write down 1.21. And then I'm going to turn that E back into what it stands for, which is times 10. Remember, it goes to the power of, and then there's that 24, so it goes to the power of 24, and it's atoms of O2. Not as hard as it looks. All right, the last one is grams to liters. Actually, I'm going to make this moles, just to get us through here a little bit faster. I'm going to make it 15 moles of Fe. So if I go mole, mole, liter, it's going to have 3 boxes on the top. Okay, a little bit longer. 15 moles of Fe. And it's going to be to liters of O2, which means this is my heart box, and it's going to have moles and the unknown formula, and I'm going to put my heart around it. I'm going to carry all my units down and to the right. Looking back at my balanced equation, 3 and a 4. And for that liters, remember, I'm going to use that constant, which is 22.4. I'm actually going to have to do this on my calculator to get the answer for y'all. So change the numbers. And your answer should be, as long as I did it right the first time in the calculator, 252, and it's going to be liters of oxygen. All right, I hope watching these be solved helped. If not, I would go watch it again and just take it step by step and make sure you know where every answer and every number and all the units and things are coming from. Good luck.